Hello and welcome back to From the BON, the Burnley podcast. This is the rapid reaction to, can't believe I'm saying this, Burnley 1, Mansfield Town 2. Woody is with me. We've got video reaction from several people who were at Turf Moor. Before I get into this, just if any Mansfield Town fans are coming across this video, just so you know, us criticising Burnley's performance today is not taking any credit away from what your lads have done today and your tremendous support at Turf Moor. You deserve that win, especially on the basis of that second half performance. I thought Mansfield Town's character was great, 2 great goals. Well done to you and all the best in the rest of the FA Cup. But we're here to talk about Burnley. This is a Burnley podcast. Woody, I mean, we get a win at Crystal Palace. There's a little bit of a lift, a little bit. We even start fantasising about maybe turning the season around. And then this.
Yeah, that was just like obviously a 7-minute blip, wasn't it? The other night. I mean, it just goes to show that we can play any side and look particularly shit. It doesn't matter what division we're playing against. And it's I don't know. It's like just put us out of his misery, put everybody out of the fucking misery. It was an abject performance, especially that second half. I don't know what we'd expected it. After the first half, when we'd played relatively well, and you would have expected us to go on and win 3-0, but they just came back at us, and we just didn't have anything whatsoever, did we?
Didn't look interested. I don't think.
No.
I mean, you know, Josh Laurent's been done well at Burnley. I think he's exceeded expectations, but he doesn't even challenge for that header at the back. The guy just, you know, and maybe, you know, you could argue that.
But he's not a fullback, is he?
Him.
Exactly, like we've just said, he's not a right back, is he? You know what I mean?
He's playing at right back.
Yeah.
You know, well, we'll get into that, but let's pop to our first video. Chris Boden was in the turf, and here's his reaction.
Well. Bit of slight relief on Wednesday night. That's a new low, must be said. To get turfed out of the FA Cup by League One Mansfield team, that's well cut to have gone out at home to League One teams. That team Parker put out should have been good enough to come through. Should have been 3-0 up at half time. But that second half performance is unacceptable. Just not good enough. And it puts more pressure on the manager. We'll wait and see whether the chairman, the board, do something about it, because that's not good enough, I'm afraid. It's appalling. And where do we go from here? You know, we get the lift of Wednesday night, and then you get that jump back down to earth on Saturday. Terrible.
Not sure what that person was screaming at in the background, but
see a 3-year-old losing its shit.
It sounded like a tantrum.
Yes,
That, but,
yes, exactly.
I mean, Chris, you can't argue anything Chris says there, really. I mean, that side he put out, as Chris said, should have been good enough. We can debate. Greavesy said, you know, and I totally agreed with him in the last pod, play the full-strength side, go out there, take care of Mansfield, keep the momentum going into the Chelsea game, and let's just try and make the most of that Palace thing. He's changed the side. It's ended in defeat, but that team that was put on the field should still have been good enough. They are Premier League footballers, should still have been good enough to deal with a League One side.
Yeah, they weren't a bunch of kids. It's not like we just played like a load of reserves. Like most of that side could have been picked on a regular Saturday. Never mind an FA Cup. Yeah, he's playing certain people out of position, and you've got Barnes up front. But other than that side should have had more than enough to have seen them off. You'd be expecting to beat them, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know, and it's just. It's embarrassing. It's a bag of shit.
I think on this one we can talk about attitude, we can talk about mentality, and we can talk about effort as well.
Yeah.
Because you look at Florentino, like him, don't like him, disappointed with him, whatever, right? He's supposed to be, and he has been, a Champions League level midfielder for Benfica, and he was outclassed against Mansfield Town, a guy who's a Champions League level player from Benfica who's costing 20 million and he's outclassed against Mansfield. Chauner's supposed to have played in Serie A for Lazio. I mean, that effort on goal of his was ridiculously bad. But he also didn't look.
Yeah,
He didn't look arsed.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the point. And I mean, like Hartman again, and it's like you're asking this question: is there an attitude problem with some of these players that have been brought in? And you see them strolling about week in, week out, and that's the only conclusion you can start to come to, really. That there has to be something with regards to attitude, and they can't really be asked to wear the shirt.
Yeah, let's have a listen to another reaction.
Let's start at the end. Lucas Perez for Ward-Prowse, a substitution that probably summed up a day of non-expectation and abject disappointment. Substitutions throughout the game were appalling. Team selection was even worse. It cried out cup shot from the moment the team was out at 2 o'clock. And the players out there should be pretty much ashamed of themselves, really. We never built up any impetus against a League One side. Second time this season, by the way, we've gone out the cup against a League One side. And performance-wise, I mean, bless him, Boynes, he's probably had his day now. I think that's something that's come out of today. But never mind, we bring a striker on with 10 minutes to go, so that's all right. Florentino, all I'll say there is, to anyone who objected to what I was saying earlier in the season, I was right. He is shite. Defensively, okay, I suppose. We send Son out on loan and then play Laurent as a right back to give Kyle Walker a break. There's another one for you. Season over in February. You know, it was over in January, really. The league was over in January, but the season's over now. You know, the one thing you had to hang your hat on was a bit of a cup run. That's gone now. There is no redeeming feature from today at all. I apologise for the players if your words offended you, but I did mean it.
Not happy, man, Daz. Let's have another quick one while we're at it. Julian Jordan, he's a voice of reason on this podcast so often. Let's have a listen to what Julian had to say.
Evening, lads. I'm just back at the car, having left the turf. Burnley 1, Mansfield Town 2. I'm incredulous, actually. That was really, really, really poor. We started pretty badly. They had their tails up. We knew what they'd done previously against Sheffield United. They brought a great following with a made a lot of noise, and I've been saying, an early goal will be required to sort of quieten them down a bit. It came after about 20 odd minutes, something like that. Probably slightly against the run of play, but decent goal when it came. We subsequently missed two, gilt-edged chances. One from Brun Larsen that got cleared, where he ought to put his laces through it rather than just try and dink it into the net. And then Chauner got through and skied one, which looked easier to score with. And that was really that. When they equalised, it was coming. Second half, we huffed and puffed, but they scored a really well-taken free kick, actually. And then at the end, we brought subs on to try and retrieve something from it, but to no avail. I don't like to single out individuals, but I thought Chauner was really poor today, and Florentino probably had, for me, his worst game in a Burnley shirt. I think they both should have been hooked way before they were. Normally, you get knocked out of the cup and you say, let's focus on the league, but we kind of know we're out where the league's concerned anyway. So I've been thinking for some weeks, let's focus on the cup. That's the final nail in the coffin of our season. It was atrocious, and I think the board have now got some serious thinking to do.
So the board have got some serious thinking to do, says Julian. Chris Bowden also raised that issue. We'll see whether the chairman of the board do anything. Do you think they will?
Well, he keeps saying he's been backed by them, doesn't he? I don't know. It just we've said it before. It just seems like the inevitable at some point is going to happen. Do you do it sooner rather than later? Do we just sleepwalk through the rest of this season? Do we do some planning for next year? What is that planning for next year? Right now I can't be asked out of the way. It's about the only interesting thing that could happen from this point in, isn't it? A little bit of a manager interest. But other than that, I can't see anybody being bloody interested.
No, I mean, I don't think they will, to be honest. If I was a betting man, I'd say they won't, because I think they've made their mind up that he's taking charge of that team next season in the Championship, come what may. But I'd certainly think a game like that, should really focus your mind on what's gone wrong at the club, at least. Because, if we've talked about recruitment a million times on this, and you test your recruitment when you look at the depth you've got in your squad, and the FA Cup is when you use that depth in your squad, and it is utterly failed to come up to measure. I mean, if you're paying players 20 million to bring in players from Europe and they can't hack it against Mansfield Town, something has gone seriously, seriously wrong. And, I don't know. I mean, these videos are just depressing me, but let's have the last one. Tony Dawber will at least give us a historical reference to have a chuckle about, I'm sure.
Ready? Go.
A memorable afternoon, if only for the fact that I saw probably the worst pass I've ever seen at Turf Moor in 50 years by Jacob Brunlarsen just before half-time. We looked to be strolling to a fairly comfortable victory. We got the goal, and a terrible misses by Ashley Barnes, terrible miss by Chuana as well. But I thought we still looked like we were going to stroll against a very, very limited Mansfield side. Then we had a break with two players with the freedom of Turf Moor, and Brunlarsen gently wafted it out of play towards the long side. Terrible. But I thought I wasn't really panicking at half-time. In the second half, we didn't really come out. It was just mystifying how poor we were. A really, really bad second half. A terrible performance, terrible result at the finish. When Hannibal and Fleming came on, and Edwards, little glimpses, Fleming gets another atrocious miss, which makes it a hat-trick of terrible misses for us. But we got what we deserved. Terrible. Nothing really more to say. Thanks very much. Bye.
There isn't really a lot more to say, is there? I mean, it's
There isn't.
terrible.
There really isn't.
Terrible. Yeah. It isn't. Oh, I don't know. Chelsea next. I mean, this season is over. Like Julian was saying, it's over now, isn't it?
Yes.
We're not in a position to launch any sort of comeback, and the little bit of glimmer of interest and hope and perhaps excitement, that little possibility that the draw might be kind to us in the next round, we maybe pull off an upset in a semi-final or a quarter-final and get a trip to Wembley and at least have something to take out of this season. And in the end, no, we can't even have that.
I mean, just try not to fuck the week up completely after you've done what you've done at Palace, and then you turn it around and throw this back into the mix, and it just puts everybody back into a default setting, which is an extremely depressing one, isn't it, this year? Fuck it.
Yeah. Chairman Alan Pace made some comments in the programme notes saying that he meant what he was trying to say in his comments last week. I think we'll leave that one for the lads tomorrow to dissect, because I haven't got a fucking clue what he's talking about.
What was he trying to
say? Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Hope this doesn't ruin your week. Don't let it ruin your weekend. They're not. It's don't.
They're not worth
forget
it.
about it. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. Absolute shambles. Absolute disgrace. Again, all the best to Mansfield Town. Nice club. Great fans. Good team. Good goal to win it. Well played. We were absolutely abysmal.